Hey everybody, welcome to another Muddy Reviews. Today we're checking out a belt pad. So this is an HSGI Suregrip, I think it's called the mini or small, Suregrip belt pad. It is meant to be put inside of a Velcro lined belt, kind of like any of the modern two-piece gun belts that you see a lot of people using, like the TYRs, the one I recently reviewed, the AWS lab belt, stuff like that that's meant to have like an inner belt that you wear on your pants belt that you Velcro the belt on. Well, this is kind of meant to go inside of one of those if you don't want to wear one of those Velcro pants belts. So this is not going to be a super long review. I can't talk too long on something like this. Some background though, I have worn HSGI Suregrips before. It wasn't the pads, but it was a full-blown battle belt. Far before I had the channel, which I had actually reviewed it, I'd gotten rid of it. It was a fantastic belt. The Suregrip material is really great and does exactly what it says. It's very grippy and it holds onto your body really well. I had reviewed a belt from Tasmanian Tiger, very similar in stylization to that belt. Card will pop up somewhere up here to that review if you want to check it out. Unfortunately, that belt doesn't have this same gripping material inside, but it is a good belt regardless for bigger battle belts. So this belt here, this pad, is completely loop lined all the way from tip to tip on the outside, and then on the inside from tip to tip is completely lined with this Suregrip rubbery material, this almost like neoprene material, and it goes the entire length of the belt. And this is meant to kind of like grip and hold on to your clothing or belts or whatever is underneath your clothing line or your belt line, and it's just kind of meant to hold and keep the belt from shifting around, especially when it's underweight and having gear all over it. Belt's a little bit bigger than 1.5 inches with the binding tape on it. Sewing's really good. It is completely covered in binding tape all the way around, edge to edge, and there's no crazy errant stitching. And then I don't see any tension issues on the backside. So they did a good job sewing this, and it's not going to fray out or have a problem, especially when you're taking it on and off a piece of kit. I'm going to go ahead and grab my AWS lab belt to kind of put this on something to show you. Oh wait, hold on, actually. So this is another belt pad. This is the actual stock belt pad from a TYR. These are nice. They're very breathable. The only problem with these is they're not really as grippy as something like this, and that's kind of why I picked this up. So just to give you an idea. So here is the AWS lab belt that I recently reviewed on the channel. A little card will pop up somewhere, probably up here, for you guys to check out that review if you haven't seen it. Great belt, but sometimes I realized I wasn't going to run this with the inner belt. I wanted to run this kind of like a battle belt separately over my clothing or over a jacket, and I needed a belt pad to put inside of it, and that's where this HSGI comes into place. So you get that married into the belt line, and now you have a nice pad that's going to allow you to run this belt completely independent of its pants inner belt, and it's going to hold on to your clothing and your other belts or gear. If you have like a rigger belt on, it's going to keep this belt from wanting to shift around under all this gear. And I think that is what is really special about this lining in here. Not as breathable as some other options out there, I will admit that. It can get a little warm, but not too bad. Not warm enough to be intolerable, but it can get just a little warm because it is a thick rubbery material. I think it is worth the trade-off for the simple fact that it kind of acts very similar to running this belt velcroed in to a inner belt, but without having to have an inner belt on if you don't want to, especially if you're going to be wearing this when it's a little colder, when you have on like a wind shirt or a hoodie maybe, or even like a smock or something. You can kind of put this on with those layers and still have your belt line. So overall, pretty cool product, a really nice addition to the belt. It's just nice having it in the arsenal. You can take it off, roll it up, throw it in a pack, and have it. You can swap in and out between having your inner belt on or this. So you can wear your inner belt as your pants belt, but then when you don't want to Velcro this to the inner belt, you can have this pad on instead, and it gives you just some more flexibility in how you run your belts. So that's all I got, guys. I hope you got something out of this review. Maybe you haven't seen one of these before, or maybe you have and you were just kind of curious. Well, now you've seen it, and I hope maybe I've given you a little more tools for your toolbox as far as what this product is and what it's good for. If you got something out of this review and you like my content, maybe consider punching that guy over here in the bottom right corner of the head, the little helmet. That's my subscribe button. The top right hand corner, that's going to be a video that I think you might like that is kind of in the same world as this review. And then in the top left-hand corner, that's going to be the most recent review. That's what YouTube is going to push on you. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I appreciate all of you guys for subbing and joining me on this great crusade of spreading knowledge for BB Wars and all the nerdiness that is gear. As always, guys, get out there, LARP smarter, not harder, play some Airsoft, and I'll hopefully see you on the field. Take care.